Perfect. That's it.
You want the next part?
Yeah.
The next part.
Give Rick a big round of applause. Thank you, Rick. So who knows what time it is right now?
Time for Rosie.
It's Rosie Zepeda time.
It's time for our featured speaker. And Candy Miller, what do we do to our featured speaker here at the GNA?
Make him go to the back of the room.
That's right. We send our featured speaker all the way to the back. But Rosie, you don't have to go that far because you know what that? Wow. Oh, you're wearing heels. And why do we send our featured speaker all the way to the back?
Grand entrance.
So that way they can make that grand entrance. Give Liz King a big round of applause. She never forgets that. So how many of you here are thrilled that Rosie Zepeda is here to speak today? How many of you here have heard Rosie Zepeda speak before? Isn't she awesome? I never get tired of hearing her speak. And I'm a very good friend of hers, and this is an unbiased opinion. She's a wonderful, fantastic lady that wears tons and tons of hats. I'm just going to read a couple of the hats that she wears here. Actually, you just told me you're dissolving your original company to create a new one. Rosie used to run RZ Enterprises. RZ, Rosie Zepeda Enterprises, right? Master Peak Performance Mentor and CEO of Compelling Conversations LLC. That's her new company there. She is also the creator and director of the GNA Women's Mastery Program. And she's also on the overall GNA executive team as a vice president, along with Rick Craig and Timothy L. Bird in the Central Valley. If you have not had a one-on-one with this lady, whether by phone or in person, I strongly suggest it. You know, Rosie really cares about truly helping people, and she has great contacts she can connect you with. She's not going to hard sell you her business. She helps you out because she knows in the long run, the more she helps you, what's going to happen? The more is going to come back, right? So on that note, let me read a little bit about Rosie's bio here, and then we'll bring her up to the stage. Have you ever felt that icky feeling when you think you're connected with someone only to not hear from them again? Right?
Yeah.
Come on, who's felt that before? Right? Come on, everyone raise your hand here. We're all awake, right? Okay? Today, we're going to join Rosie the Closer! Woo! For the 4 key components of a successful, compelling conversation. Become more emotionally connected with yourself and your prospect. Everything is a sales conversation, but it must be compelling in order to get to many declarations of yes. In a compelling conversation, all the components of you should show up. You need to show up, right? Be on your A game, be exciting, be interesting, right? Okay? If you are an entrepreneur, what you stand for is key in effectively connecting with your prospects. So, in this session, because Rosie has several different presentations, and they're all awesome, Rosie's going to talk to us about how to successfully find out if they are talking to their target client, market, or niche, how to effectively take a conversation to yes and many more yeses thereafter, learn the 3 things most business owners do to sabotage their sales success. How many of you have felt like that before, honestly? Because we're not sure what the right or wrong thing is to do, and then we think we're doing the right thing, and then someone never contacts us again, right, Rosie? Okay? And you're going to lead today with a plan to have more compelling conversations, thereby increasing your bottom line and finally get results. So on that note, I'd like you all to please stand up and rise to your feet. Please stand up and rise to your feet and give a big warm GNA welcome to Rosalinda, Rosie Zepeda, the Closer! Thank you for being here. It's all yours.
Thanks, Elias. Do you need me to use the microphone?
It's up to you.
For the...
You don't have to, but I'm...
Well, I think it might be better, right? For
the video, probably would work a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So hold on while I log on.
I love you, Rosie.
We love you, Rosie! Yeah!
First of all, I want to send a quick shout out to my girls, who are like 7 of them are here. I understand that Rick's wife, who I haven't had the pleasure of formally meeting, is interested, or might be interested.
Rick's wife? I didn't know they were married.
In coming to.
Significant other.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You guys need to have a compelling conversation.
Whoa!
So anyway, I'm really excited to be here. As you know, I'm Rosie the Closer, but I'm known for the compelling conversations that convert. And I'll tell you a little bit about me. First I was a teacher, so I have a master's in education. I was a teacher in the South Bronx. And I call it Beirut because in 1994 when I got there, that's what it looked like. But it was a great experience. So that was the beginning of, really kind of learning my way in front of the room. And then I worked in corporate for about 11 years in a very male-dominated environment. And exactly what Elias was talking about hard selling, that's what they would tell me to do. And actually, I used my womanly instincts and decided to do the opposite. And so I was always known for doing the opposite of what they told me to do. But in the end, my biggest deal was $25 million.
Wow! Yeah! Woo!
So I didn't do it by hard selling, and I really do believe that we're entering into a new paradigm in doing business and a new paradigm of starting a sales conversation. And then the other thing is, and this is actually a funny story, some of the women have heard it. The reason that marketing-wise we came up with Rosie the Closer is because when my mom was pregnant, we were very poor. There was two of us and there was a third one coming. And so my dad had the brilliant idea of beginning a ice cream truck business. And so I went and helped him and I did all the selling, but like he would just kind of give me $10 and $20 sometimes. And so one day I sat him down and I said, we need to talk. And I was 9. So basically, I say that I've been closing the emotional gap because I believe that sales starts with psychology and starts with your emotions. It always, always does. It's always about a connection. Okay, so let's get started. So Elias just mentioned what we're going to cover today. I'm not going to go over that. Let's talk about the myth and stereotypes of selling because I see this a lot. How many of you have been in business a year or less? Raise your hand.
In this current business?
Yes. Yes, because you should always be present, right? If you're present with a business, raise your hand higher so I can see it so I know who I'm talking to. Okay. How many of you have been in business less than 2 years? Okay. 3 years or less? Wow, we have some veterans. Go, Candy. 4 years? 4 years or less? Okay. Yeah, so basically most of you have been in business for less than 5 years, okay? And what I'm going to cover today is some of the basic things that most people do in their business to really sabotage really getting and moving the sale along, okay? And then I want you to stay with me and think, sales is about you, not about your product, and not about the company you represent if you do that. And sales is psychology, okay? So you have to keep that in mind, okay? And sales is about you and the other person, another human being, okay? So what I'm going to teach you today is really to disarm some of that because some of the things that people do, you end up throwing, it's like you've heard the expression, throw more coal into the fire. And then that's why I say, you walk away with that icky feeling. You go, what happened? Well, Frances can come up later and tell her story that she had after she attended one of my sessions. Okay, so let's move right along. Now, I'm very big on this. As you know, I'm Rosie the Closer. So when I started my business, I was going around going, hi, my name is Rosalinda Zepeda, and I'm a business coach. And guess what? There's a lot of business coaches out there, and I wasn't standing out. So the number one thing that you have to do before you even start the compelling conversation is you need to know yourself, you need to know what your values are, you need to know for what you stand, because you are your business. So I want you to write this down. You are the first sale, and the first sale is to yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't believe, that's what I call the inner game of sales. If you don't believe in what you're doing, nobody will, okay? So the first thing you have to do is you have to take stock of, who am I? What do I stand for? Now, I started off having already a compelling conversation with you guys. Did you guys learn a little bit about me? Do you guys know more about me personally, right? Did I go on and on and on about, you know, oh, I do this and that? No. No. So I'm walking you through really on how to actually start that conversation, okay? So the first thing you have to do is look at what your beliefs are, because that's going to lead us into the next one. Now, I'm branded. I went from Rosalinda Zepeda to Rosie Zepeda to I'm Rosie the Closer. And what that is that's my brand identity. When I've actually now shown up at a couple of places, and people will say, oh, you're Rosie the Closer. I've heard about you. So, how many of you would like to stand out of the crowd? Yeah. And the thing is that business should not be difficult, but people make it, we make it difficult. And when it becomes difficult is when you don't see yourself as your best asset. And you are your best asset. Everything, your story. Candy, what did we come up with you? Candy shoot 'em up guns? Yes, because Candy likes guns, right?
Stay away from Candy. She likes guns.
Right. So of course there's other women that are called Candy, but when Candy says, I'm Candy shoot 'em up guns, and I'm into health and I like to keep my family safe, and that's her 30-second pitch, she is going to get someone's attention. Is she going to get your attention by that? Has she said anything about her product? Anything about her service? Are you curious? So write this down. You have to get people's curiosity. People have to become curious with you first. Imagine everything that you get on the internet or the phone calls that you get. Everyone is trying to get our attention. And when you're in business, you're trying to get people's attention. So don't try and get the attention by doing the same thing that everyone is doing. I have the best product. Are you into health? Oh, I have the best product. You know, can we talk? Because I really would like to talk to you about a great opportunity. That is gone. And you know what changed that? A big part of that was changed by Facebook. Because but here's the thing, you have to be strategic. Whether you think about it or not, people want to know about you, but you have to be strategic at the information that you share that's really linked to your business. Okay? Most people, when they start doing this, have you ever been with people who overshare? And you go, when are they going to be quiet? Okay? So we'll go over that. So the first thing you have to do is that you have to brand yourself, and their number one sabotage that I see people doing is that they put themselves out there, and they mention their company, and they mention their product. No one cares about the company. Remember, who are they buying?
You.
Yeah, you buy you first, they buy you, okay? Do you start seeing the steps? And your company and your other company, I mean, those companies put a lot of money into that branding, but you're the representative for that. And when you're an entrepreneur, the difference between working for a corporation where they're paying you a salary and the difference between working for yourself and being an entrepreneur is that you are the first package. Okay? And actually I just came up for something for Dale. You know, Dale's a very snazzy dresser, as you can see. Put the camera on him. He really is.
Nice tie.
Yeah. And his last name means nobility. So I told him, I said, get rid of the last name and then say Dale, the debonair insurance guy. Woo! Nobility. What was your tagline? Nobility what? Service. Nobility service. Cool. Right? Okay. So in the sea of technology and in the sea of going to networking events, you have to come across with a brand that's strong, that has integrity, that's real, and that's real meaning that it's you. And I believe that because I know Dale, and he is noble, he's a great dresser. Yeah. Right? So if I didn't know him and I told someone else, I'll say, ooh, I want to meet him. Okay, number two. Number two of compelling conversation is, so let's say you've introduced yourself. Hi, I'm Dale, your debonair insurance guy. Then you now need to emotionally connect with that person. And this goes with the GNA motto. what I see people doing a lot is once they see that brand land, they go, oh yes, and then they don't shut up. They go, da, 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 da. No, you say that to get the attention, and then you make the emotional connection. And the number 2 sabotage, because I said I was going to mention 3 things of sabotage that people do, is that they do not make it about the other person. They start making it about them. So they figure, I get someone's attention, I have their attention now I'm going to start talking. No, this is the time that you zip it, and how you make an emotional connection with someone is you don't ask them about their business. You ask them, these are a couple of suggestions for questions. Hi Myrna, very nice to meet you. What is your passion? What are you passionate about?
You asking me that or just?
Just as an example, but this is because we did this in the mastery. So it's very important that you ask these very big, dreamy, and when I say dreamy, I mean these are things that are going to touch people's heart. They're going to open their hearts to you. Because when you ask someone, what do you do? I mean, you get it like these very dry answers, and you want to make that emotional connection by connecting to their heart. And I will tell you what some of the responses I heard. You know, I'm really passionate about my children. I'm really passionate about helping others. Okay, let's say someone answers back, oh, you enjoy helping others. And here's something that you need to do to keep them talking. Tell me more about that. You get them to continue to give you information. And the reason that you want to do this, and this goes along with your branding, is because when you're talking to someone, and when you open your business, you really need to find out, who do you want your clients to be? And I can tell you, I don't believe everyone is my client.
That's true.
It's very true. You know what happens if you believe that everyone is your client? First, you are not an expert. You want to start being an expert and known for something. Okay? So whether you're selling insurance or you're selling a health product and whatnot, even though you're representing the company, you want to be known for serving. What population do you serve? Everyone here knows, and many of the people here in the Women's Mastery, I have male clients, but you have to put it out there of who are you here to serve, because that presents you as an expert. And when people feel that you have a very specific communication of what you're doing, then they feel that you know what you're doing, that you have your act together and you know exactly what you're doing. So what I want to do right now is we're going to do a very brief, and those of you who come to the master and attended some of my other things, we always do like groups exercise, and this is going to be very brief, is I want you to think right now, who are your people? Who are the people that you want to attract? Who are the people that you want to serve? Because there's 24 hours in a day, there's only one of you, and out of those 24 hours, maybe you'll be working in your business, 8 to 12 hours depending on the day, and that's it, and time flies. Who do you want? So if they were putting your tombstone as an entrepreneur, who did you serve? No, I mean, you have to think with the end in mind. And let me tell you why, because it's better to start here and then expand, then start here, and then what happens when you're there? You can't serve everyone, and you're overwhelmed, and now you're sounding like everyone else. Okay? So did everybody think of who they're serving for their business? Okay. So I want you to turn to the person next to you. If you guys sitting in threes, just take a minute for now, and I want you to share, and this is why this is important, because even if you don't know, when one person is speaking, and I have this rule in the master, when one person is speaking, the other people just listen. Okay? So if you know what it is, say what it is, because saying it marks it for you. If you don't know what it is, say, I don't know what it is, but this is what I'm thinking. The other people don't offer any suggestions. The other people just listen. So I'll give you about a minute and a half to do that. So get started.
I'm looking for baby boomers who are looking to It's so retiring. Yeah. Well, they don't necessarily understand that this is they're wanting to read it.
You like that?
Definitely a brain trying to focus. Makes you happy. Because everybody trying to focus with that. How about you doing some of that?
Nice. Nice too. Very nice.
I think I'm more targeted now. Oh, thank you.
How are we doing, guys? Get ready to wrap it up.
Somebody know there's meetings and then
Okay, did everybody have an opportunity? Okay, I'm going to ask two people to volunteer to come up here to the mic. And remember, when you come up here to the mic, I also I teach speaking in the women's group. Is come up to the mic and remember, when you're up here, remember you're representing your business. You're representing you. So always be conscious when you're up in the mic. So come on up.
this is how you learn, is coming up and being vulnerable.
That's that. Hey,
Yeah! Woo!
She said vulnerable. Wow, she read my mind. I'm going to be talking about that next. So I want you to share who your niche market is. Tell us your name. Tell us something about you that no one knows, or that we personally do not know, that you would like people to know, that might be associated, with who you are representing your business, and who your niche market is.
And that's why I came up here, is I don't know.
You don't know? Okay,
I want to start with the beginning of, I am Jennifer Copsion. I do have a background of 20 years as being a licensed cosmetologist. I have done public speaking before.
I can tell.
My body language, yeah. Okay, enough of that. What my intent is I want to assist people in the aspects of their life that are not working and help them identify what the troublemaker is to bring balance back into their life. Who I'm targeting, I prefer to...
Okay, so I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
Because you're talking.
Got it.
And you're telling us a story of what you do and what you bring.
Right.
And so let me model, okay? So I'm Rosie the Closer, a Master Peak Performance Coach, and I help entrepreneurs, specifically women entrepreneurs, get over their fear of selling. So if you have a business and you're not getting results and you're not moving your sales forward, then we need to talk. Okay? So you don't have to model me exactly, but what I'm saying is that this is, and thank you. Give her a round of applause. By the way, this is what we do in the Women's Mastery.
Yeah.
It's very helpful because practice makes perfect. Yeah. Mozart practiced like 20 hours a day. So I want you to think of who are the people that you would like to attract in your business? Who is your, and I'll give you an example, okay?
Maybe that's what it is I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like. I have a picture in my head, but I don't have anything that's intelligible to where I can deliver and communicate that.
Okay, so I'm going to help you with that. If you don't know who your market is, if you don't know who you want to serve, I want you to think of, if you gave a party, who would you want to hang out with? And let me give you an example. When I first started my coaching business, I would take like any client. And then I took some customers that I could not stand. Okay? And then that's when I started realizing, well, wait a minute. And I realized, even specifically with women, that I'm attracted to women leaders, and they're attracted to me. That I like women like me. Is that making a little sense?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So in terms of your business, what you can do is you can journal, and journal things of you. You know when I said everything starts with you?
Yes.
What are your, make a list of the things that are like, you're ticking bombs. Like which people kind of get on your nerve, right? Those will not be your clients. Never take money from someone who's like a ticking bomb for you, because that's bad karma and it's bad energy. You basically have to make a list, but it really starts with you.
Yeah.
It really starts, like, I'll give you an example. Not that I don't believe that someone who's 20 can't serve baby boomers, but that generational gap is going to be so wide. Do you see what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that you have to serve someone who is the same age as you, but it means that you have to be comfortable. You have to know who are the people who, yeah, like Elizabeth says, who are in front of you, who you want to play with. That, you know, think of the people, make a list of the people that make you laugh, that you really enjoy, and those are your customers. Okay? Any questions?
I think the other question is, when I introduce myself to you, I have a story in my head that when you guys first meet me, do I come off as very young? When I don't speak, or it's like, okay, she's really young, what does she know about lifestyle design and helping me recreate my world? So there's a story in my head that keeps me stopped. Do you follow me?
Yes.
And there's something that I need to let go there, but at the same time, I don't, it brings tears to my eyes. I think that's what trips me up, is starting with myself and that conversation with myself.
And I can tell you that the journey of being an entrepreneur is a very personal one.
Yeah.
And I would suggest for that we can talk offline. And I would recommend you can come to the Women's Mastery.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good job. So moving right along, number 3 in a compelling conversation is you have to find, this goes really well with what we were talking about, is synchronicity. When you're in front of someone and you're talking to them, let's say if I'm talking to Rick, you do have to have a clear idea of who your ideal client is. Because if I'm talking to Rick and I'm asking him questions about him and I want to learn about him, but if I'm not getting that we sort of jive and that this synchronicity, I don't like walk away. I go, okay, he's not my guy, right? But what I do instead is that I stay involved in the conversation and I still ask him, what is it that he might need? Because he might have my client. But this is one of the mistakes that people make, is that if they have an idea, or if they feel, oh, Rick's not my ideal client, I'm not hearing certain things, and we don't really doesn't seem like we have anything in common and whatnot, and then your voice changes. It's like people can pick up on this. If your voice changes and you're not, if you're not interested anymore, you have to stay then present with that person. So this is when people, again, basically will end up then wanting to control the conversation instead of closing the emotional gap. So he might have my network, which actually that's true, because he told me when I came in, he says, I really, would like my partner to, come to your Women's Master to talk to you. So let's move right along. Number 4 is stay in the needs. I actually had someone that I know who called me the other day, and this person knows me. And she said, hey Rosie, how are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm doing great. And then she went, and she was talking to me about some mastermind, and I wanted to hang up the phone. Okay? So that's what's called not staying in the needs. She didn't let me answer, and she wasn't even interested in that I had to answer. And what she should have done is when she called me, hey Rosie, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Hey, what's going on in your life now? I haven't seen you for a while. And the number 1 mistake, this is a sabotage, is whenever you reconnect with someone and you're going to, talk to them again, a lot of people, you don't know what's going on. You have to find out what's going on in that person's life. If you would have called me 2 months ago and would have been all Cheerio, and you didn't ask me what was going on in my life, you wouldn't have known that my aunt had died. And then if you then try to just go, I would have changed my impression of you. And that's what happens when we don't stay in the emotional needs of the person who could be your prospect or who has our prospects. The other thing is, if you talk to someone and they say, you know, you want them to open up, I'm having a really hard time now. Well, how can I help you? And what many entrepreneurs do is when they get to that point, their hearts sink, because as soon as they hear, oh, this person is not going to be my customer, they just lost their house. Do you see? I mean, I've heard this from people that they take it personally, like something, they're doing wrong now, or they start feeling like they're failing in their business. And again, it has nothing to do with you. Stay present with that person. If someone's having a hard time, ask how can you help them that could be immediate, not like over the next couple of weeks. And then refer them to someone, because then now that person's going to come back to you and say, you know what, I was going through a really hard time, and by the way, I would like to refer you to someone. And that's usually what happens. And I just want to talk briefly about the one-on-one, which we talked about here before, is I don't believe I hear these people that have these like an hour, 2-hour conversations. I'm sorry, that's too much. I do 15 to 30-minute compelling conversations. That's it. 15 to 30-minute. If you want to get to know someone and they got to leave, tell them, you know, Liz, I would really like to set up a 15 to 30-minute compelling conversation to you because I'd like to get to know you. That's it. That's it. You don't have to give them any more. And what happens is that sales is usually a 6 to 7 step process. You have to touch someone 6 to 7 times, not literally. You have to touch someone emotionally. So I call it the emotional touch.
Thanks for clearing that one up there, Rosie, for the guys out here, right?
6 to 7 times before that person really feels connected to you. I know I hear a lot of people, oh, we felt connected instantly. Well, Candy and I are special. But and you can have that. You can have that. But I will tell you that before anyone buys anything from you, or they refer you to someone else to buy, something from you, then you need to have 6 to 7 contacts. And so if you do a 2-hour, you know what that's going to feel in the end? They're going to think this person is overwhelming. Does that make sense? And finally, why do I do this? Why am I a coach? Because I enjoy helping people. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to invite you. These are the different ways that you can work with me. If this was helpful to you, if you have any questions, you can talk to me at the end. And the ways that you can work with me in that is I do 30-minute strategy sessions. And the 30-minute strategy session, a lot of people get confused. It's not a free coaching session. The 30-minute strategy session is really to strategize. And remember when I was talking synchronicity, it's really about finding out, are you my ideal client and am I your coach? And that's what it's about. But in the process, you walk away and you walk away with nuggets, and I give you something that's going to help you in your business immediately. There's 2 ways to work with me. I do private customized sessions, 5 private customized sessions which are customized to you and your business for $9.97. And I'm starting a new group program. A group coaching program starts in August, and that's going to be the sales boot camp. It's going to be a 5-week program, which is going to be $297. So if you enjoyed this, I invite you to talk to me afterwards. And if you have any questions, or if you ever need any advice, then you can shoot me an email on Facebook. Thank you.
Give Rosie a big round of applause. Louder! Come on!